The world is slowly fading away. Little by little, you are losing everything that you are. The void keeps on growing, swallowing memories, dreams, feelings. Can you see what you're turning into? Do you understand where it all leads? Or just pretend it's all fine? That somehow it will all be alright? Playing the game, chasing love, money, recognition. Yet knowing deep inside that even if you get all these, it will change nothing. The ever expanding emptiness inside you will persist. But it's just the way life goes. Isn't this what getting older means? No, it doesn't have to be like this. There is a way to get it all back. The dreams, the feelings, all the light that you lost. It's a ritual, a bargain of sort, but a fair one. I don't try to deceive you. I only wish to help. The first thing you need to know is that all that you lost, all the pieces of yourself that were stripped away in the passing years, it all still exists. He is a hoarder. He never throws anything away, and he always has room for more. The second thing to remember is that you are full of light. No matter how jaded or broken you might feel, there is still so much light left in you. Never forget it. The final thing to remember is that this is a trade, and every trade requires trust. Don't let your doubts get the best of you. Just believe, and it will be worth it. At this point, you might think that this is not for me, that life is full and happy enough as they are. That's okay. Leave this for now. Keep it in your memory. Let time do its thing, and when the emptiness will be unbearable and life seems bleak and hopeless, remember this. It will always be waiting for you. Now, if you're ready, let's begin. The first thing you need to do is to close your eyes and look inside yourself. At first, you might see nothing but darkness. Look closer. Think of the things you love, things that bring you joy, that touched your life in some special way. Memories of an old lover, sunset over the ocean, or the music of your favorite band. Anything that makes you happy or has a deep meaning for you will do. Imagine these things, each as the light that shines inside you. Soon you will start to see points of light appearing in the dark, like stars in the night sky. Now reach out and pick one of these lights. Feel it. Cherish the joy it brings to your life. The next part is a little tricky, so listen carefully. Any physical things that connect you to this light must be destroyed. Now don't go crazy on this one. You don't need to run over your favorite band, kill your ex-lover, or destroy sunsets. All you need to do is to destroy every physical evidence that connects you to it. Anything that can serve as a proof that it ever touched your life must go. Pictures, texts, recordings, any souvenir, whether physical or digital, must be purged. There must be nothing left binding it to you, nothing but feelings and memories. Now for the final part. Get yourself a bottle of alcohol, whiskey is fine, and a glass. Cut a small piece of your hair and burn it. If it doesn't catch fire at first, it must be a little moist. Drying it for a few minutes in the microwave or oven should solve it. Once it is burnt, take some of the ash and scatter it in the glass. Not too much. You don't want to chuck yourself. You only want the faint taste of ash in your drink. It's a symbolic gesture, but it's important. Pour the alcohol into the glass and wait until nightfall. Close the windows and make sure no light enters the room. Complete darkness is essential. He doesn't like light. Now, take the glass you prepared earlier, shake it, and drink. Feel the taste of ash in your mouth. Think about the light you chose. Feel it. Remember what it meant to you. He must know it has value, otherwise, he will not trade. When you are ready, go to sleep. You will wake up in the darkness with a strong feeling of being watched. Don't be scared, just let your eyes adjust, and you will start to see a faint glow. You might wonder where it comes from. The glow comes from you. I told you before, you are full of light. Look carefully into the darkness, and after a while you will see his silhouette, the bent man. There is no need to talk, he will not reply anyway. Once you see him, he will start walking away. Follow him. It might seem like he is getting away, but don't worry. He wants you to follow and will not let you lose him. You will not be able to see much of the way, only silhouettes and shadows. Some will look like twisted trees, and it might seem like you're walking in some dead forest. But soon you will see other silhouettes that look like broken walls and buildings, and it might feel like you are traveling through some ancient ruins. After a while, you will notice some of the shadows are moving. Then you'll see them. Some are crawling, some kneeling, some limping, some just standing. If you talk to them, they will not answer. If you try to get closer, they will move away. No matter how much you stare at them, you will never manage to see their features, only silhouettes against the night. But if you look long enough, your eyes might start playing tricks on you, and you will start seeing yourself in them. Ignore it. They're nothing like you. They have no light left in them. They have nothing to give. Don't waste your time staring at shadows. There is so much light ahead, and when you reach it, you will curse yourself for every moment you wasted. Just follow the man. As you get farther, the darkness will grow thicker, and you will feel your light growing dimmer. You might start feeling despair taking over you and doubt all the things that brought you here. Don't succumb to these feelings. The deal has already been made. There is no turning back. This is the hardest part. Just believe. Keep telling yourself it will all be worth it. It will. Don't think. Just push forward. Force yourself to keep walking. Near the end, the darkness will be so complete that the man will disappear completely. Don't panic. Listen, and you can hear his footsteps. Follow the sound. You are nearly there. And then a squeak. A door is opening. A crack of light expanding, and you'll see it. All that you lost, all the light that was taken from you, will shine in you once more. All your dreams and feelings that you could barely even remember will again be a part of you. The emptiness is gone. You'll be a child again, innocent, happy, and free. There is no word for me to describe it. You'll laugh at any doubt you had before. You only have until sunrise, but when you are there, every moment is like an eternity. In the end, you will hear the squeak. The door is closing. You're left outside in the darkness. All that you found will be taken away from you, and something more. The bargain is complete. You will wake in your bed, and this will all feel like a fantastic dream. But you will know it was real, that you have touched something pure, something perfect, and wonder how you could have lived without it. Hold on to this feeling as much as you can, but in the days to come, the memory will start fading, and the darkness will creep back in, even stronger than before. It's natural. This is what this world does. You cannot hold on to the light. Everything good is momentary. Everything pure must fade. It will be hard at first when you remember what you left behind. It will be impossible to pretend that everything is just fine. You might feel there is less in life, less in you than ever before, and the emptiness will be unbearable. But it's different now. You know it exists, and you know how to get back to it. You can do it again and again. You still have so much to give. The wailing, the infernal wailing. I cannot escape it. I cannot escape it. I hear the cries, the tortured screams of 100 million beings, all in unison, an agonizing chorus of unrelenting pain. And I'm one of those screams, one of untold millions of minds, slowly breaking, dying, decaying away into the cold, uncaring oblivion. But we cannot be millions, as that would imply a separate being. No, no, we are one mind, one conscious being, tearing away at itself, shrieking in near eternal agony. And I cannot escape it. I used to have memories. I'm, I'm, I'm sure of it. I had memories. I had memories. But I cannot remember them. I get flashes of memory. I do not know if they are mine or the fragmented pieces of another. We are one mind, and yet we do not, cannot think the same thoughts, and the pain of the paradox rips away at our essence slowly but surely, and I cannot escape it. There was no beginning to the suffering, or maybe there was. We do not remember. No, no, I do not remember. How could we? But is there an end? Is there an end? No, no, there must be an end. There must be. All we know is pain, because that is all we have ever experienced. We are an amalgamation of minds and consciousness, a crude attempt of harmonious unity, and we cannot escape it. I want salvation. I have to. I need to. But this, the mind, will not so easily allow. I feel what the mind feels. I think what the mind thinks. But at the same time, I think my own thoughts as well. I think hundreds of millions of different thoughts at once, and I cannot hear myself. I cannot hear myself. My mind betrays me, but I have no mind. I must. I must have a mind. I must. And we cannot escape it. I lost my sanity long ago. I do not know when. I do not know when anything was. I do not know when I was born and when I died. When I entered this place and when I unraveled. I could have been like this for millennia or for 1 second. I cannot say. It eats away at me. But how does it eat if I have already been consumed? And I do not know. I know 3 things in this agonizing hellscape. I do not know. I do not know. And I will never escape it. Up until a year ago, I had never even heard of the word FJONG. I have never even seen a creature similar to the one in FJONG. FJONG, the word haunts me. Let me explain. I woke up that day feeling as usual, looking forward to nothing in particular. The responsibilities of the day came crashing down on me all at once, making me immediately lose any motivations I had to begin with. Suddenly, a loud ring on the doorbell echoed through my empty, roach-filled house. Then, nothing. I groaned and quickly shoved the covers off my body and made my way down the stairs. I opened the front door and saw a minuscule package placed politely on the front porch. I picked it up and it felt incredibly light, as expected. But something felt off. Something wasn't completely right about this. There was no label on it, no return address, not a single name. Not even my own name was on it. I felt like I should have thrown it into the dumpster. But I took it inside, curious to see what it could be. The worst mistake of my life by far. No joke. This package was almost exuding a feeling of malice. Hesitantly, I grabbed my box cutter and cut open the dirty, crusty tape keeping the box together. A dense, stinky air filled with dust puffed out as soon as I peeled open the box flaps. Inside, there was a disc, alongside a note with a brown stain on it. I took both of the items out of the box and read the note. Just for you. Enjoy. That's what the note said. The disc was completely blank on the front, except for one word, FJONG, written in dark blue text. I took the disc upstairs to where my computer was located, opened the CD-ROM drive and inserted the disc. An application immediately appeared. A colorful scene appeared as the application loaded. Lush, grassy fields, tall trees, and the logo of the game, FJONG, in colorful, capital, rainbow letters. An upbeat, calming tune emitted from the application, and colorful creatures floated in the sky of the scene. I moused over to the play button underneath the logo. For some reason, I felt I shouldn't click. A package with no labels, no return address, containing a blank CD-ROM and a shady note. Why was I sent this package? Could this game be malicious? No, that's not it. It's just a silly little children's game that looks like it was made in less than a day. The worst it could be, is some kind of virus. Immediately, I'm greeted by a scene just as colorful as the last. One of the creatures from the title screen, colored a pastel blue color, appeared on the screen. I sped through the tutorial, my nervousness about this game washing away quickly as I see the colorful, simple nature of the game. The music is soothing and the gameplay is simple, with little thinking needed to get through the levels. The character FJONG wants to save his friends, but cannot fly unless it eats some candy. The main game mechanics is jumping and bouncing off the walls to get to the candy bin at the end of the level. FJONG makes a high-pitched sound as it jumps in the air. I continued to play through the charmingly easy levels, acquiring different colors of FJONGs until suddenly black. Darkness. My screen goes black. The blue FJONG creature slowly appears on the screen in a more hyper-realistic fashion than it even appeared on the game. Its skin looked greasy, porous, and thick, like it was enveloped in thick layers of blubber, despite being a creature designed for flight. Its skin was varying shades of blue and almost looked like it had traces of blood on it. Its feet were rough, wrinkly, and stubby, an old, faded-looking shade of brown. Its eyes were shiny, watery, and incredibly small. I stared deep into them as the FJONG creature stared back at me, standing still on my screen, emitting not a single sound. Looking deep into the abyss-like caves that were its eyes, it almost felt like the FJONG had hostile intents. Unexpectedly, the FJONG emitted an ear-piercing, high-pitched, drawn-out sound, similar to the sound it makes whenever it jumps, but much, much louder than any human ear could handle. It was a more glitchy, oscillating sound than the one in the game. I covered my ears, closed my eyes tightly, and ran as fast as I could from my computer. I ran out of the house, into the streets, as far away as I could, but the sound still echoed throughout my ears, non-stop. I opened my eyes, and confused, frightened tears immediately came falling down. Suddenly, images of blood, flesh, and veins flashed throughout my vision. The world around me, nothing but red, fleshy, pulsating, undulating, writhing, covered in veins and splatters of unknown liquid. I tried to scream. I tried to scream louder than the horrible sound ringing through my ears, but nothing came out. The whole world was silent, except for the sound. The wretched noise caused my body to feel like thousands of pins and claws and spikes being stabbed both inside and out on every limb of my being, every inch, every cell. The muscles on my arms began to convulse and swell violently, then exploding into giant eruptions of blood and chunks of tissue, muscles, and flesh. The giblets that flew off me looked like they were rotting. I continued running. I don't even know where I was aiming to go. Maybe I could escape the sound, or maybe the violent pain at the very least. I continued running and collapsed on the ground from a combination of blood loss and exhaustion. But I woke up in the hospital, a monitor beeping beside me. It has been a year since that event, and I still haven't gotten used to the sound. It's a miracle and a glory and the greatest thing to ever happen, so they say. And it will probably become the law soon that you have to take it. They will have you swallow a little capsule when you are still a baby. Probably at the same time you are getting your inoculations. The piece of thing in there weighs only a few grams and will be plucked out of a little pool that will probably be installed in every hospital soon. Those couple grams are more than enough for it to happen. Sure, you will never get cancer. You will live until 150. You will have stronger bones and a more resilient immune system. You will probably never need glasses or a hearing aid. If you lose something small, like a finger, in half a year, you will have it back. If you lose a whole arm, in 2 years, you will have it back with nearly full functionality. It's the sort of miracle that's believable enough to catch on. Sure, it won't solve all our problems, and it will create a few more, like overpopulation we had never saw coming. But it works, and it's cheap, plentiful, and that's all we need, right? Sure, they can't quite explain how the thing actually manages to rewrite our genetic code after we swallow a few grams. But they promise the answer will come someday, and there are no side effects. It's from a previously unknown variety of starfish, but they won't even tell you that on the news. I think the story right now is that it's something they are growing artificially. These starfish live in the deepest, darkest places in the ocean, and they aren't very big or interesting looking. Honestly, we have probably seen them down there before 1,000 times and just overlooked them. It just so happened that prick with the show about eating weird food got a hold of one, God knows how, and thought it was a different kind of a starfish and ate part of it, and a year later he had that foot he lost back. I'm sure they tore apart his house and tested gallons of his blood and interrogated everyone he ever spoke to. But somehow they figured out just when the regeneration happened and eventually found the thing. It had been alive when he ate one of its arms, and I guess he took a pity on it and let the thing live in a tank in his house. Well, this led to that, and eventually they brought up a ton of those suckers. But here's the thing. Think about technology and innovations. Think about what they are for. Mostly, it's to keep us alive longer, make us healthier, help us communicate better. What if, as a race, we had already had the ability to communicate via thought? What if we were naturally incredibly hardy and long-lived? What if we started out having everything we needed without having to do a bit of work? Our goals would turn to keeping our world the way it was and simply enjoying things. With a mind so powerful it can transmit and receive thoughts with no effort, it stands to reason other amazing things are possible too. With that mind staying completely intact in even the smallest sliver of the creature, one has to wonder just what else that mind can do. So now, here's the question. If you had survived all this time, just sitting around on the bottom of the ocean with this incredible intellect, how would you amuse yourself? What if that mind can wander and roam freely if it can just find something to carry it? What if, as a race, we made ourselves the bottom of the food chain just to ensure we had constantly be taken into new creatures and allowed to see the world through their eyes? Is it really such a leap to think that such powerful minds could overtake smaller, lesser ones? No. Nor is it unusual to think that if such a race of powerful minds was endangered, they would use this ability to dominate the minds to defend themselves. That they'd patiently wait until their enemies devoured them, then simply displace the minds of those enemies and solve the conflict. I don't think it's crazy at all. I don't think it's crazy that there is suddenly a lot more war all over the world. A lot of research put into birth control and the accidental release of that superbug that makes men sterile. We should be enjoying world peace, but instead we're killing each other faster than ever before. Maybe they're not even threatened. Maybe we are just a game to them. Maybe we are the 100th race of beings that these things have done this with. All I know is they don't turn you into some zombie from a cheesy old sci-fi flick. They let you think you are still in control, that what they want you to do is actually what you want to do. It all seems so natural, so right. Then we are in World War III, and the only thing the bombs won't scorch clean is the floor of the ocean. Don't ask me how I know all of this, and don't take that pill.